Okay. So in HTTP, what it going to do? Where is the editor? So just to give the heading, what is HTTP client? HTTP client. HTTP client in Angular. Okay. So HTTP client actually it is communicating with the server. Okay. If suppose if you want to get some data from the server side, means this that is not available in your local system. Like what we was doing previously, we was taking the data from where? From our assets, means we was taking one JSON file, and from the JSON file, we was getting the data, we was printing on the UI, we was doing all the operation. But we not want to take the data and keep in our application, and then we have to work. No, I not want like that. So what I wanted the data from the server, means somewhere that data is available on our website, means somewhere it is available, and that I want to get the data and use in our website, whatever we want to design or whatever things required. So according to that, so what we have to do for that thing, we have to we have to work on the HTTP client, means we have to, for the server side communication, we have to go with the HTTP client. Okay. So let me open in one notepad here. So what we are doing, we are taking that HTTP client for what purpose? HTTP client for server communication. Got it? For the server communication. Next, means whenever you want the data from the server, what we will do? We will use the HTTP client. So what are the different ways of, what are the different methods for the server communication have? Okay. So suppose that, okay, before that, just go with that, how we can import. So next point, how we can use HTTP client. Okay, how we can use HTTP client. So see, so for using purpose of the HTTP client, what we can do, we have to import one package in our app module. Okay, for using how we can use HTTP client. So for that, what we will do, import HTTP client module inside app module. Got it? Means on the app module, we have to import that. Got it? So let's import that. Just wait, let me increase that. Yeah. So what we will do, first step, we will import HTTP client module, HTTP client module inside app module. So let's go and import that. So this is our HTTP. Let's close this also. Close this. Yeah. Now open this module file. So what we will do, we will import that. So let's import. What is the package name? So see, from and take @ Angular /common. Okay, slash, you will get here HTTP. Take this folder. And inside, which method we have to take? We have to take HTTP client. Many things you will get here, but we have to take HTTP client, not client. We have to take module. Means on the module page, we are importing on the module page. So what we will do? We will take the module, HTTP client module. And once we will take this HTTP client module, what we have to do? We have to declare import. We have to register in the import section. So register that. Up to here, anyone having any issue? Tell me. First step, what we done? We have to import this HTTP client module and we have to register that. That's it. Clear? Second thing, now wherever you want to use HTTP client, okay, on that, whether you are using on the service or component, so wherever you using, you have to import that there also. But keep in mind what we have to import. I writing here. What we imported? We imported HTTP client module. So on the service or on the client, we will import HTTP client. Okay. Let me create one service file. So actually for each task, we have to create one separate service. Not in each task, means for each activity like login, registration. So each activity we have to do that separate. And take git pull also. Okay. I had already pushed the code of that lazy loading and whatever, and lazy loading and those section actually you will get inside this src2. Okay, so here lazy loading folder is there. So inside lazy loading, these all are the comes under the lazy loading. So you can get there. Then here src1 you can get. Inside this also you can look what are different you will get here. Okay, actually we had separated, otherwise it become too much complicated. So what we will do? We will do the HTTP task in this service. So let's create ng g for generate, s for service, h. Okay, HTTP work. Let's see. Now I know that problem will be created service and the spec file where it came. It came here. This I want inside the service. Oh, sorry. I'm moving in product module. Yes. So now what I done inside the service, I created two service file, that is HTTP work and product service. Now I want to create one separate folder, otherwise it become too much problem. Okay. So HTTP work and one more folder. So let's move this file. HTTP work inside this. And now I want one more, that is RODUCT SCRVICE product service. Let's move this both data. Now see, after moving data, it will create the problem. It will give you error. It start giving the error. Just if we will give that, it will work fine. Yes, that's got resolved. Now product side, it will give problem. Give this, that's it. Not it. Okay, let's remove. Just give service, then product service, then product service. Yeah, fine. So now what we will do? Remove this also. So On the app module, we had imported the client module. So inside the service, we going to use. So inside service, we will import which one? There we imported HTTP client module. Here we will import just HTTP client. Okay. So import. If you forget this import, it means that server side if you want to do communication from the server, you can't able to. It will give you error. Okay. So keep in mind this thing we have to do. HTTP common slash. Now we have to do HTTP and what we have to import. We will import client, not module here. This is the main difference. See. Sorry, where it got copied. So see, on the module, we had imported the module and package. This is same path will be same. But on the client means on the service or whether on component, we will use the HTTP client, not the module file. Keep in mind this thing. Otherwise, you will get confused. So on module, we have to import module, and after module, we everywhere we have to import all the things. So there is no restriction. Okay, so this become the HTTP client. Now HTTP is one type of service. Okay, see that this is a service. It means what? We have to inject. What we will do? Can anyone tell? If this is service, so for using of the service, what we have to do and how to use that?
Sir, inside constructor access.
Yeah. So inside the constructor, what we will do? We will inject. It's a dependency injection. We have to import that. What is the keyword? We will take private. So we will take private and then HTTP client. Take this. If you want, you can take read only also. Colon. Okay. Now change this naming convention. Give a small letter of H. Fine. Means this is variable. You can take anything. It's not the issue. Even if you want, you can take HTTP also. That's also fine. So we can import that. So this is the way of injecting HTTP client module. So up to this, anyone have issue? Tell me. What we had done up to here. If you have problem, you can tell. No issue? Okay. So now see. So actually what we are doing, we are communicating with server using HTTP, whether client or client module, that's okay. There are different server method. Okay. Can anyone tell what are the server method? Any idea? Okay. So actually, what are the server? Yeah, if anybody is speaking. So see. So what are the different service method having? So you will get first method for the GET. Okay. For what purpose GET is? Any idea? GET method.
Sir, getting JSON data means
Get
method.
not a JSON only for
Yeah, sir,
getting the
method.
data.
Yes.
Okay. For GET. If we want to get the data, then we will use GET. What is the use of POST? POST. Put. H. Delete. Anything more? No, that's it. Okay. So just go one by one. So what is the use of GET? So in GET, what we will do, whenever we want to get the data from somewhere, from server or from somewhere, means it's like what you know SQL query. How many of you know? Means who don't know? If anybody will tell, then I will assume that everybody know. Okay, fine. So SQL query means suppose you have to get the data, all data from your record. Okay, it means that what are we doing? We are doing select a star from table. Then we getting complete data from the table. But here method is there. So with the help of that get method, what we can do? We can get the data, whether select a star or one data or two data, it's not the matter. But we can get the data means for getting the data from the database, we have to use even database or server anywhere because this is the server method. So for getting the record, we have to use the get method. Clear? So now just imagine one thing. If you have to get something, what are the things required? What are the parameter required? Suppose I telling you, get some biscuits from somewhere, get some fruit. What do you want? So you want some record, you want some parameter like which fruit, how much kg, some data are required for that one. Some information should be required. So like that itself, if I telling you get the record, from where you telling to get the record, which data, where is the location? So those all things required. In the sense, we can tell in the case of get, we have to pass URL. Okay, URL means address of the data location. So then only when we are telling to get the data, then only it can get the data from that location, from that URL. Clear? This is the method in which we have to get the data from the server with the help of the URL. So let's see how we can use this get one for getting the data. So just what we will do, we will use one method, get data. Be creating one method and doing that. Means what we want some URL. That's okay, fine. But before that, what we will write, we have to write something like what is the service, how we was accessing the service method. Like when we created our method, means our service, sorry, when we had created our service, how we was using that on component. Tell me, like that itself we have to use here. Let's see who can use the mind. Like we had created the data service, product data service, something. So we was using that on our component. How we was using, like that itself we have to use this one.
Sir, this dot HTTP.
Okay, so HTTP, this dot HTTP, then dot, then we will get the method, correct? Because when we was doing on this service, when we was putting a dot, then only we was getting this suggestion, this all method, correct or not, in the component. So here also we will do the same thing, put a dot and let's see what you're getting. Be getting get, delete, head, JSONP, patch, post, put, request. Means all the server method be it getting listed. Like suppose if we want our method from the service, let's do one thing, import service, our service which we had created. At service, oh sorry, we made here one thing. Yeah, due to that itself it's not coming. Fine. Now on product service, be using that some method. I want to write that. What we can do? Product service. Product service. Sorry. Before that, we have to inject because this is a service. Correct.
Yes, sir.
We have to inject that. We have to inject it. So let's inject that. Private P colon private. Up to here, any dot? What we done? We imported our service and be injecting this one in our service, be injected, and now be going to use the service. So let's use that. How we can use? We will use this variable product. Correct. Product data service dot. Now see, it given the list of method which is available on our service. Get data, movie, my value, this, whatever is there. Correct. So let's take that. Like this type we can take. So same type in the get method also we will do. So what we had done, we had taken here dot. Let's control space. Be getting all the method which is available. So which we have to learn, we have to see get method and see one thing. Here we had listed all the method, means some more methods are there, but we are not using those. Those are not much more important. So we have to get only which is most important, which we are using a lot. So what we done here, get, post, put, patch, delete. So now HTTP dot get, inside get, what it want? It want what we had told, that some URL is required. See that something you will get here. Inside get, what is there? URL is there, then headers are there. This is optional because interrogative sign is there. I had told you in the query parameter that when you passing interrogative sign, it means optional. If that is not there, it's not going to give you error. Clear? So this method we have to pass. So inside get, we have to pass what thing? We have to pass the URL. Clear? We have to pass the URL, but we have no any URL. Okay, let's do one thing for right now. Just we will do like this. That's it. And after that, what we have to do? Nothing, just a semicolon. But so now just take this URL from somewhere. So what we will do? We're not going to do on our local. Okay, we will take the data from the server. So just take the data. Which data? Which data we was taking yesterday?
Post data.
Post office, that pin one. No? Don't
Yes.
take pin one, because that pin it's giving that 1 2 3 like that type. So that's fine. One more data we had taken actually. What was that? Okay, let it to be e-commerce. Yeah, fake API is coming. Oh, why it's coming this one? It will give the data. So see, this is our API, and in this we can get the data like api.com products. Up to here, it will give you the record. Let's see in the URL. We got the data. So these all are the data side. We had already done this one in the that e-commerce. We had designed that one. So, but now we are not going to take this all data. We will take just this URL. Okay. And what we will do? We will pass in the URL section. Just pass. And now see whether we are getting some record or not. So what we will do? We are not using on our anywhere on the component page. We had written code on the service page only. So now I want to check in the console how to get that data in the console. Tell me what we will do. Anyone?
Sir, first create empty variable and then pass their line number 40 equals to and pass their console.log.
Okay, fine. So here we will create one variable. So let's say take that result. Okay, result equal to take here this dot result. Now take declare this one, declare. Okay, yeah, fine. And now this result we have to pass in the console. Let's save and now check whether we really getting the data, this one or not. Oh, what am I writing? What happened? Where it giving error? App service, product data service. Product data service on this file. No such file directory. Angular dot data service dot ts. App service, product data service, app service. Okay, I think in app module. Oh, yeah, this one. Service, product service. Okay, fine. It giving error. Where it giving?
Services is not passed in provider. Yes.
That is also, but that will not give the problem actually. Actually, that time I had changed the file name path. That become the problem. Oh my God, this much error it's giving. Wait. Oh, it's going on the data to component.ts. Okay, this one. Now it will find. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. So what have we done? So we using this get method, and inside that we had passed the URL of some data, some API. And after that on the HTTP service, wherever we will use, we can get that. Let's check in the console that on which page we are getting. Whether we are getting that or not. So see, what is this data? Let's clear first. So we not got anything on product 2. I am in service product. We getting some record. Fine. This okay. But where is our data? Means this fake API JSON. Why this not coming? This is not coming because this service Now tell me, who is using this service? Anybody had used this service file? No. That's why we not get the data. Now do one thing, just pass this service file somewhere. Let's try on the app module. Whether we passed on the app module, then it's working or not. Let's see. What is the service name? HTTP. So pass inside the provider. HTTP client module. Sorry. Let it to be, just we will import, that's fine. Import dot slash service HTTP service work. Service work. Comma work service. Now let's see what is happening. So we getting that movie data, but we not got that our fake API data. So what we have to do? We have to call that service on our component. Okay, we registered on our this app module. We have to call that on our component. Then only it will trigger this service. So what we will do? We will call our component. So just product data. Let me create one module component also. Ng G for generate, C for component, HTTP work. Yeah. So here I take an HTTP work component. So now just add the HTTP work component in our routing also. Then only it will work, because if routing will not there, then we can't able to get. So just add this in the routing section. HTTP work. And now use the component. What is that? HTTP work component. Fine. Oh, path is wrong. This we can do directly also, means we can create the route, that's also. But in place of going like that, it's better we can go that way, this way also. Now, if we will click this HTTP work, what will happen? We will get this component. Where is that component? We will get HTTP component, but on this component, now tell me, had we called the services? No. So what we have to do? We have to call this service on our this HTTP component. Okay. So now we import. Now take the service HTTP service. HTTP service. And now tell me how we can use this in component. How we can inject that. So for injecting, we have to take the constructor, and inside constructor we have to import HTTP, correct? Fine. So this time what we had done, we called inside the component. Now just verify. Now also we are getting the data or not. So let's see. So we getting here HTTP work. Click this component. What happened? We got this HTTP work, but still we not getting the output from this line. Now check whether we had done some mistake in the HTTP work or what. So in HTTP work, we had written this inside the constructor. That's fine. But we had called this method also. Where is this HTTP work component? On this, we had just imported, we had just injected, but we had not used that service. So now use that service. So how to use that? So we will take this HTTP service work dot and get method, get data. Is there two method? Get data. No, only one. Yeah, only. Okay, result is also there. No, that's why that is variable. That's why we getting this one. Now just see whether now we are getting the data or not. So now you can observe here in HTTP, you can observe that we are getting something observer, and here we are getting something like some data. But anyway, we can tell that we getting some data. Whether our data is coming or not, that's another thing. But we getting the data. That's fine. But what we have to do for using purpose means once the data came, this is actually observer. Means now you getting the data, this is your observer. So observer means on each request and response of the server, it going to monitor that one. It will monitor each request and response of the server. It will track. So for the observer purpose, what we have to use? We have to use the subscribe method. Means whatever data we will get from the server, we have to subscribe as like YouTube channel. If you if you had subscribed any channel on the YouTube, so what will happen? As they will update the data, as will upload the data on the UI, sorry, on YouTube, then suddenly you will get the notification. So same thing is happening here also. As it will get the data, it will give to someone. But if it given, it trigger the data. But suppose any person is not there for receiving the data, so data is not going to catch up to anyone. So same thing is going here. It got the data and get data method. We are using that where we are using on our component. So here we have to subscribe that result. Then only we can get the record. So how we can subscribe? Let's comment this line. And one thing, this will be available to that. This will available to that next component level only and only if we will return the value. Okay, so we will return the result. Now this value will be available there. But what we doing? We have to do whatever data is coming from the database, means from the URL. You have to on the component level. We have to subscribe that. Then only we will get the record. We will get the data. So how to subscribe? How to subscribe that? Let's see. So we have to make one separate method somewhere like get data. If you want, you can create same method which is available on your service, and here also it's not going to create the problem. So how to import that service? How we will use this service inside this? So we will take that service method. So that is HTTP work service dot which method? Get data. Okay. So now up to here, what will happen? It will give the request to the server. Means it will give a request to the service that somebody had asked for the data. Somebody had requested for the data. So up to this line, service dot method name, it will request to the data. But once they will trigger the data, if they will give you the data, if you are the subscriber, then you can get. If you are not the subscriber, you will not get the data. So what we have to do? We have to pass dot and subscribe method. Control a space. Maybe you will get. We not getting. Okay. 1 second. Why we not getting? Service dot result this dot get client find. In place of writing this here, na, just write there itself. Yeah, now we got that. That was separate variable. That's why we not getting. So now what we will do? We will use the subscribe method. And in subscribe method, now just imagine one thing. If you got the notification of the YouTube that you got the new video got uploaded, up to here, up to subscribe method, you will get the response. But just imagine if you got the response, but if you're not watching that video, is that useful? No, because we are not watching that video. It means that once you subscribed, you have to tell that you have to use that, then only. So what we will do? We will, and it will do the looping. Whatever data we will get, it will give you all the data. So like that, we are passing arrow function, and then we have to print the data. Okay, so here we are going to write a response, just one variable, and here we will write a console.log. Console.log. One more thing we had seen, array.log. No, something was there, I forgot. Console.log, and inside this we will write a response. And now just save and check whether we getting the data or not. So now just click HTTP work. One second. Why it not giving? What is the problem? Route is not matching. No, route is matching. What component we had passed?
Sir, active route not there.
Active route, no, that's not required actually. HTTP work component, that's also fine. It's okay. HTTP, let me write something on HTML, then we can get. But already HTTP work is there. Yeah, we getting HTTP work. But why we not getting this? Let me check. We are triggering
Sir,
that
we need
API.
to, sir, I have one question, sir.
Yeah.
We need to create any component for the HTTP services to import
No,
any other.
component, no. But yeah, where you want
It's not just,
to, wherever you want to print the data, you will use that.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I got this.
Angular slash like that.
Wait. So see now, we had created this method, but had we called this method? No. This get data method, we had not called anywhere. This is your service method, correct? So we have to call this method on button click or on the page load, wherever.
Display on browser, yes.
Yeah. So we will call this on the ng on init, or even in the constructor we can do that. This dot. Fine. So let's save and just now check the data. Now we will get the data. Now see, by default you getting the data. Men's cloth and these all things. Correct? See the URL. It's HTTP. Anyway, just clear. Click product. On product, we got the product data. Now click on HTTP work. Now we got the data. Okay. And this data from where we are getting? We are getting from this one. You can see here. Just 1 second. Okay. So whatever data is available here, we are getting from this file. Okay. We are not getting from our JSON or somewhere. If you want, you can verify. See this. First ID. Something data is there. / number 1. This one. Now check our data. See this. First data is this one. So whatever data is there, it's coming from the direct from the server. Okay. Means tomorrow if you got any API, you can get data from there directly. Now one thing, see actually, suppose when you not getting the data, suppose just now we had done the mistake, just do that mistake again, just save. Now see, main thing actually we have to learn how we can troubleshoot that. If you're not getting the data, then how we can troubleshoot, how we can verify whether we are doing correct or not. That is the main thing. Whatever code we are writing blindly, but it's working or not, how we can verify. So let's see. So suppose you had written something on component, you can trigger that. Now we had commented that method, means now we will not get the data, and be not getting data. See, HTTP work, it's not giving any data. Now go network tab, because now we are getting the data from some server, from somewhere. Okay. So now check here, you will get data here also. Okay. Now clear. And now click this HTTP work, whether it triggering or not, that you will get. So suppose I clicked on the product data too. Now click on HTTP. See that we not getting any output. Okay. Now do one thing, just uncomment this line and just see. And now see actually, just delete this. Click on product 2. We got the data on UI. Click on HTTP work. What happened? It came something products, a status 200. Now click this. What we getting method? Method is the get method because we had requested. And what is the status code? A status code is 200. Okay. And from where we getting the data? We getting from some server remote address. This one means this is your URL. On this URL, we are getting the data. Now go to preview. In the preview section, you can check what are the results it came from the server. Let me increase this. From where we can increase? No, we can't. Okay. So in the preview section, you can get what are the records it's coming. Check response. Anything is there? Yeah. So it giving you the complete data here. Okay. What are the response we got from the server, means from the server, that server side. Then timing, it will show that how much time it had take in loading up all the files, these all things. See that, waiting for the response from the server, how much time it's taken, 336.89 millisecond. So this much time it had taken for getting the loading the data. Okay. So this type actually we can check everything whether it's a triggering or not. When we was not calling the method, that time it was not triggering, but now it's a triggering that. So this is the way why which we can get the data from the server, and then we can utilize, because once you got the data, Now we can start that ng-for or whatever method is there. Now we are getting this data in the JSON format. So we can, it's clearly it's working. But suppose tomorrow this data is not in the JSON. Now we can modify that. Means whatever, suppose array is there or object. So we can modify and we can get that. Where is that API? Which Neetu had shared that day. Now we will get data on that from that API. Okay, copy link, fine. Now see, suppose what we have to do, we have to just replace the URL. Okay. Anyway, we not want this routing. Remove this file. Don't keep file here more. Product service, okay. HTTP work, we not, okay, let it to be. App component remove. Module remove. Yeah. So on this service file, what we will do? Now see the problem. If you will pass the URL data directly here, it will create the issue each time you have to modify this section itself. What we will do, we will not write like this. We will define one variable URL equal to, okay, and we will pass this API there in URL section. Okay, and now save. And now what we will do, we will take that variable URL. Got it? What we done means we had taken just variable name, and this variable is referring to this URL section. Anyway, lastly, we are pointing that URL itself. And now save and check whether we are getting the data or not. So it's working fine as usual. So now suppose we not want this data, we want some different data. I have to again copy that. Now take that data. Just comment this line and make one another variable. Pass this data. Okay. And now save. You not have to do anything, just to check the console. You will get data from that API. Oh, it given error. There was some error in that API actually. 426 upgrade required. Error HTTP response. Upgrade required means error code parameter invalid. You are trying to request the result too far. Okay, let it to be check in the network tab. We are getting anything. It giving that error. Get upgrade is required. Some problem in that API itself. So it's giving the issue. But if the API everything will be fine, we can get the data directly. So this was the thing why which we can get the data from. But suppose that now I not want this much data. Suppose like you all are working on the movie data. So you got the movie data, you will pass that API, you will get the movie record. But I not want that movie. I want just one record. Just to go back this API. I not want this complete data of that e-commerce website. I want one record. What we can do? See, be getting all 20. Suppose that you clicking on some image, this 8th category, and you have to get this record only, 8th record. What we will do? So in that situation, what we have to do here, you have to pass product. See that I taking this URL. How we can get the data? Let's see. So suppose we giving this product, pass here /1. What happening? Just see. What happened? We got only one record. Means suppose you have multiple movie and you clicking one movie. means single movie. You will get the data of all the description of that particular movie. So like that, I want one record. What we have to give? We have to pass this value. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. So what we will do? We will pass this URL. We have to make the URL like that. Means like /1. Suppose we given this /1. Now see what we getting in our data. Where is the data? Yeah. Now we have 20 data. Now see how much record? We got only one record. So what we have to do? We have to pass the data like this type. Means one API will give you all the record. Correct? Get all data. This will give you all data. Just resolve this error. Get all data. Resolve here also. Get all data. But now I not want all data. I want only one record or two record. Means just only one record, not two record, only one record. So what we can do? So for that, we will create one new API. What we will do? We will create one new API like get product or data by ID. ID in the sense one record, means on the basis of product ID, price or product name, basis of that one. So what we will do? But now just imagine one thing, how we have to configure the route. Means when you configuring the route, which type we have to configure? Can anyone tell? Means this URL, now we have to pass like this type, correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Means in the last, see this is the last one. Okay, so just speak, we will completed that get by method. So we have to cover this URL like this type anyway, then only we can get 1, 2, 3, 4 whatever product ID is there on that basis. So but what we was doing previously, just take this complete data, we will take. Okay, and comment this line. First, before that, just copy this one and use in on the service. Get, and you know one thing, why we taking the name here component, that method name and the service name same, so we can get easily that this method going to what, going to do what is the purpose of this method. So it's become easy. That's why we taking name of that method and name of the service. It's like same type. Okay. If you want, you can make this get all data. Get all data. Okay. Now I will do another thing. This dot get by ID means now I want to get the data by ID. Okay, and take this service directly, complete code. Just keep in mind this complete code. Okay, means in the night also, if you want to write blindly, you have to write this code like this type. Just learn this code slowly you will get idea why we learn, means writing each line. Just get clear by each one, what is the use of that one, what is the use of that everything. So now see what we have to do. This is interesting actually. Okay, so what we are passing now, we are passing URL, means here also we will get a complete record. Now see, we will get 2 time, we getting 2 time 20 20, but see that line number. What is the line number? One is 21, one is 27. But what data is required in the second method? In the second method, what data is required? Data is required based on the ID. So means our URL should be like that, correct? So but what we are fetching now, we are fetching this dot URL. What is the URL we are fetching? We are fetching up to here, correct or not? Right now See that top one. Right now we are taking this URL. This URL is belonging to this section. And here we are passing product. How we can add in the last 1, 2, anything? How we can add? Tell me now. Now this is the interesting point. That on this URL, I want to add 1, I want to add 2, 3, 4. Means this digit have to change. How to change that?
We can pass ID, sir.
Okay, but how we can write? That's fine. We can
We
pass
can write
ID
routing with the help of routing.
with the help of routing. Okay, that's fine. Means you will pass the data with the help of the routing one. Okay, fine. But how we will configure here? How we will pass here? Because when you will pass here /1 or /2, then only you will get the data, because this is not
Yes.
our data. This data is from somewhere, correct? This is real data. Means this is data coming from the server, and
Server.
here this data want /1 /2 something. See, I showing you plus /1. Now see what it will do.
It will give a first data only.
Yes, just concatenate plus. Fine. Let's verify whether it's working or not. This is actually interesting point. Okay. Once you will get this point clear, no? Then complete a get
It
method
is
you
so,
can understand.
it is so confusing, sir.
Had you seen?
Yes, sir.
Now we got the, where is the confusing? Now tell me. See,
All the HTTP clients are confused.
but what we had done, everything we had done yesterday itself. We had used the service. What we are doing now, we are using just HTTP client module. We have to import in the module. Correct?
Yes.
First step,
It is clear,
we had
sir.
done the first thing, we have imported client module in the app module.
App
Second,
module, yeah.
we had done import of the HTTP client. Correct?
Yes.
That thing. Second, what we had done, we created one method.
So where
And
is input, sir? HTTP client, sir? Which
here,
module, which component, sir?
not in component, in the service.
Yes,
Means
sir.
we can write either on the service, either on component, wherever we want, we can import.
Yeah.
Got it? So we have to import that everywhere. Next, we have to create one method. For what purpose? For getting the data from the server. Got it? For getting the data from the server, what is the server method? .get. Means get. Get is the server method. When you putting this dot after HTTP, automatic we are getting the suggestion. Whether get, delete, post, everything. Let's see. Got it? These
Yes,
all
sir,
method, it came. So once it came, what it want in the gate, what we have to pass, let's put the cursor, you will get the suggestion. Put the cursor, see that. Inside this dot gate, what we have to pass? We have to pass URL. Means from where we want the data, that we have to pass. So that we pass the URL. We taken some URL from the third party, means from the server URL, and that we passing. But previously what we was doing, we passed this URL completely inside. But now we passed with the help of the variable. Up to this clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay. Next, I want by this get method, we get all the data. But I not want that all data. I want 1, 2, 3, 4 like this type. Means separate. What we done here, we had concatenated. Our URL should be /1. Clear? Our URL should be /1 or /2 or /3. How I decided that this should be /1, /2, /3? See that. Good. Here they had written. See, this HTTP fake API store.com products /1. Got it? This will give
Yes.
you single data. They had mentioned. I had not written anything. Okay. So if we will give slash something, then we will get the single data. Now our work is, if we want single record, means we want this single data. Okay. So how we will get? Means we have to pass in the URL, we have to pass 1. That's why we getting this as a 1 data. Now I want this data as 2. Save. Now we will get a 2. Second record. ID 2. Got it? But how we getting this one? Because what is the URL? Concatenate slash then slash ID. See this. Remove this one. We concatenated. We added this slash, and after that we added this ID section. Got it? Because if you will not pass this one, if you want to pass like this, you can't, because this become the, it will not allow directly. Correct? That's why we taken like this. But again the problem is, what is the problem? Let's see. So problem is that this is an ID. Each time we are changing manually 1, 2, 3, 4, but we not want to change. We want to take this value dynamic. Means when user is clicking, like your movie side, when you clicking suppose A movie, automatic you getting the detail of A movie. When you clicking
Yes.
B movie, you getting the detail of B movie. Like that, when I clicking product 1, data of product 1 have to display. Product 2 means we will not do some third party, means user have to do. So what we have to do? We have to make this dynamic. This 2 section we have to make dynamic. How we can pass with variable? That is the point. So we can go with the abiotic symbol, or yeah, go with abiotic, pass dollar, and then where is that curly braces? Yeah, this type, and pass here one variable ID. Got it? Now we getting error. Why we getting error? This variable is not defined anywhere. Put cursor. Got it? Cannot find a name ID because that is not available anywhere. But now tell me, who will give this ID value? User will give, because user going to click on your browser page. User will give this value. So if user will give, in the sense, it will be came from the component. Means user will click on our component.html page. Means from there we have to pass this value. So what we will do? We will do simple one thing. We will take this as a argument. Means in this method we had passed the argument, and where we had using this method, see, we are going in the reverse process. Okay, ID we had written here, we written this ID here, means in the method, and where we this method we are using this method on the component. Correct? Now go on the component. See, automatic it giving error. What is the error? Put the cursor. Expected 1 argument, but got 0 argument. Means here we have to pass ID. ID in the sense just variable. Now if we are passing the ID, this ID means this data have to come from somewhere. Means this data have to come from our HTML, you can tell. So pass from here. It will not take like this. So make one variable here. ID equal to ID value. It. I will take this value directly. Pass this value here, and then this value here. What have we done? This method will be called from somewhere. From there we will pass this value. and that value we will pass here, and indirectly where we passing this value on the service page. So automatic we will get that value here. So what we have to do, we have to pass this id value from somewhere. So let's say this value it's passing from here, now it's passing 2. Let's save, and now see what will happen. We will get the second data because we are passing that value. We got the second record. Now pass this 10th record. Now pass. See that. We got the 10 record. And now then again we are changing the value. So no, we will not change the value. Do one thing, just 1 second. Keep patient. That's it. Now we will make one. You know how to use ng model? Input field and then bind. Okay, let it to be. Now we know that in a click a statement means what you have to do, you have to pass this value from the UI side. UI side in the sense we will make one variable with ng model. Suppose on input field, let's take also how to bind that ng model.
Square brackets
Yeah.
inside square.
I think we have to import that also, or what?
Yeah, yes, sir. This is a two-way binding, sir.
Yeah, that's wait. Input data. I think here name property we have to take or what? Something, or it will work
No, this is
directly.
not. Not necessary.
So input data equal to, sorry, colon any. Okay. So now what will happen when we will pass there? We will get this input data. Let's check first whether we are getting really or not. Then we will proceed next. I don't know whether ng model is imported or not. It's fine. So be getting the value. Now just imagine one thing. This value we have to pass for getting the data like 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. What we can do, this value we want here, correct? Just take this value. Now just see what will happen. So what I done actually, from the input field, we will pass some digit, and that digit, this is not required. Okay, this is just I had taken for the checking purpose, and that data it will come on the this side on the TypeScript page, and this value we are passing in the function call from the service. We are calling that function argument. Okay, this method we are passing here. So indirectly what will happen, we will pass that value 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, and according to that we will get the record. Now see, now what is the result? Result is null because we had not passed anything, just pass 12. So oh, I have to reload the page or what? 1 second. When we passed 12 actually, no, then we have to press the button click actually. Okay. Just right here on change. Sorry. We have to call that actually. Why it's not coming? Change event. Okay.
It is on chain, no, sir.
On change or change.
No, sir,
Like
on
click event. I think click event like that we are writing. So let's take that method. Where is that method? So method is get data value. Okay. But it will ask regarding argument here. Otherwise it will give the error. Let's do one thing where we had written on ng on init. No, but not that. Where is that method call? This one we are calling. Yeah. So take this. Pass this one. This is not required. Let's save. Let's see what we getting actually. Input is not defined. Okay. This will also work. It will point directly. Get this dot get ID is not a function. Oh, sorry. This I written. Get ID is not defined. Why this is giving? Okay, that's value.
input data.
I think if we will pass this, no, then it have to work. No. Wait. Let me check. How to pass this have to work. Or otherwise it has a symbol something. Okay, dollar event. No, that's not. Message to send it to is output actually. To pass data of two-way binding via button click in Angular 8. Click button on click. It's not given. It's a simple, but I don't know what it is. So, okay, that will work anyway. So what we have to do from here, when we clicking, we have to pass the value. Okay, and this change event is the issue, I think. Let's do with sorry, on click. Click me. Click. Let's okay. Let's see what we're getting in this one. Input data. Now see how we can troubleshoot that. So here we are getting something. Let's write in console that what we getting. ID value. So whatever we will get, we can check. It will show there. So let's check. Click. So we got here. Click. Yeah, that's working. So see what we're doing now. We passing the value. Okay. And whatever value we will pass in this input field, that will get pass in this one. Means whatever variable is there, we will take that and it will come. On change will also work, but I don't know. Let's see why it not working. Click is not there. Change will be there. Change will there. Let's comment. Let's save. What is the error? Not loaded, discarded. Oh, some error came.
So that is a on change method, sir.
Oh, no. 1 second. Somewhere error in this line. Where I had missed somewhere. Okay.
So semicolon, sir, is not necessary.
Yeah, no. This double quote is missing. Semicolon is not necessary. That's not the issue. If you want, you can pass. If not, no need. Yeah, it's working this. So that's I told na, this in JavaScript we have to pass on click. But in TypeScript, no need to pass on click. We will write on means direct change, direct click. And in the method, what we are doing, we are passing the value, whatever we are passing, we are entering in the input field via ng model, two-way binding. Okay. So when we passing this input field, whatever value, so that become the part of this method, this function call, this method call. And in this method, what we are passing, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever digit we will pass, it will go to where? It will go to this method. Now see the complete flow. That 1, 2, 3, 4 from the button click on change, it will come here, correct? And after that, let's remove this console not required. And where is this method? Where we passing that value, that parameter, this one. And what happened? From here, we passing in the service section. Go to the service. Here we are getting that value, this ID. And then we are creating that URL. How we are creating? So now the URL become like this type. In the last, we will get ID, whatever we will pass in the input field, like 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Got it? So this become the final ID. And this type we can get that. If you want to get the URL that which type we had created, I can show you that also. Just 1 second. So don't write here. Okay. write this URL inside. If URL equal to pass something. Okay. So let if URL and take this URL inside this. So now what happened? You will get this URL, and I want to check in console also regarding my URL, that what URL it created. fr if URL. Now see, it will show you what is the URL. So actually this is the complete application flow who all is working on the front end side, because after service backend work will start. Means backend guy will give you this API and then you have to pass the data. Now see, suppose here I passing 1 2. What is the URL? URL become fake API store.com/product/12. Correct? Now change this 1. What is the API? URL becomes /1. So you be getting the data of the 1. Now change this. Give 10. What is the URL data? 10. URL become 10 and you getting the data this one. Now do one thing. Pass 100. What are you getting? URL become 100 and data is a null, because in our record we have only data up to data up to 20 record. See that bottom data. Where is that? From here it started. Yeah, this 20 record. Got it? That's why we getting the data up to 20 only. Clear? So how we getting this URL also? We had created this in the variable. We had assigned that with variable, and same thing we are printing in the console. That's why we will get the URL also. On which URL be getting which data. So like that, what you have to do, you have to perform the same task in your movie list side. Okay, that I giving you assignment, that in the movie list, now you getting the data from the your JSON file. So what you can do, in place of movie list, you can go with this data, okay, this API, and just you can customize this one. Means you can create one separate file and you can do that. Apply lazy loading, apply service, apply HTTP client, call the API, use that. Got it?
Yes,
So
sir, got it.
actually now see, I telling
Sir,
one thing,
link of HTTP APIs, sir.
API, okay.